Well, everybody. This is the old biologist, Lan Wilf, and this has been a day. I did get my turkey gun shot. Think they're good to go. If you haven't patterned your guns or you don't pattern your guns, you really need to consider it so you know what your shells are doing and know your effective range. Different rant. This video was in response to a viewer question. A guy named Kirk Ballard asked a question, and it's very valid. Non-resident versus resident, regardless of state, license costs and bag limits. He also mentioned some migratory bird stuff. I'm going to go ahead and deal with the migratory bird stuff first. Migratory birds do have classifications of under states, like resident geese, resident mallards. Some of y'all have that they don't migrate, they just stay there. And the states do have some opportunities to set seasons for those resident birds independent of the migratory season. So they also have some wiggle room with bag limits because a lot of those birds are nuisances, and they have some options to allow more liberal hunting of those resident birds. But by and large, for the migratory end, this is one of his questions, is that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service sets a framework for the season. So you've got, I can't remember exactly, I'm not a big migratory bird hunter, especially ducks, but bottom line is you have a 60-day window to get your hunting season in, and your hunting season can only last, just say hypothetically, 39 days or 40 days or whatever. So that's why you have the oddball staggering of, like, you have 1 or 2 days of duck season around Thanksgiving, say, and then it's closed until the 1st of December, and then you have another 3 weeks and it's closed for a couple of days, and then you hunt the rest of January. So you only get a set number of days to set your season, and it has to be within these dates by the Fish and Wildlife Service. That's because of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Long story, but that's the shortish answer. Also, for waterfowl, doves, all of the migratory stuff, the Fish and Wildlife Service dictates your bag limit. You can adjust it a little bit. So if you want to have a smaller daily bag and add more days, you can do that. If you want to have a bigger bag and fewer days, you can do that. You're providing opportunity, and you've got a framework you have to operate within. The more important question, I wanted to try to contend with the migratory bird thing first, of how those seasons are set and the bag limits are set, because it's very weird. A lot of people get confused with that. Hell, I do too. I'm not a big migratory bird hunter. I like to shoot doves. I'd shoot doves more if I could. But the non-resident versus resident licenses. First of all, we would all have a lot more grace for our state agencies if they did their job all the time fairly. Unfortunately, some don't. Unfortunately, all employees at state wildlife agencies don't do their job the same way fairly. The most important thing I think that state wildlife agencies should get back to is they should have the attitude of, damn people's feelings. We are going to relentlessly enforce the law. That will get us back on track with our wildlife resources if we said to hell with this person's feelings, and we wrote them tickets and actually made the punishment where they felt it. We could start righting the ship. And if I get caught doing something and I've screwed up and they write me a ticket, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay it. So relentless enforcement of the law, and you would get a lot more support state agency wise from the public. And that would justify the next discussion. License fees, license costs, and paying the state agency bills, because I understand that a lot of state agencies go decades without getting a resident license increase. And inflation is a thing, so they have to pay more for the gas and the guys and the computers and the pistols and so on and so forth. Trucks, whatever. The problem is that the resident support for state agencies is just not there like it used to be, because the laws have become so convoluted and we're bogged down with minutia that, and we've lost sight of the big picture of conservation, that the public hunters not in support of it. And they won't issue certain people citations, but then me and my buddy go down the waterway and catch too many crappie, and there we are. We're going to get a ticket. It goes back to relentless enforcement of the law, first and foremost. But you roll into the fact that resident license fees aren't paying the bills. How do they compensate for that? Resident license fees usually are set by state legislatures. That means basically and essentially, and yes, an act of Congress to get a damn resident license increase. So how do they bridge the gap? By charging non-residents more. And yeah, they do charge non-residents more, but the sun guns still pay it and show up, especially during turkey season. And when they do that, it pisses the residents off. And then the residents grumble, but they don't bring more money to the table. And the cycle feeds itself. So we have to contend with trying to pay the bills and balancing between resident preference and getting enough money to make payroll with non-resident licenses. And I don't work for a state agency, but I've been there and I've seen the numbers. Fairly discouraging. Do I think that states should limit or cut off resident opportunity? I think we're at a point in turkey hunting that the first week or two of most seasons should be limited to residents. Yeah. Depending on the length of the season, you got a 2-week season. The first week could be limited to residents only. Missouri, I think, has done that. Mississippi has a lottery for non-residents to hunt public, but they can hunt private to their heart's content. And heaven only knows what happens when they get access to 5 acres of private ground next to a property that somebody hunts is 3,000. I digress. Should most states start considering having a non-resident bag limit of 1 turkey? I think that's probably coming on most states. I think it would be good stewardship. Non-residents get 1 bird and they have to go someplace else. We can thank the Chasing 49 crew for that. Yeah, I'm that guy. You can thank the U.S. Super Slam for that one. Because if it wasn't for the U.S. Super Slam, we wouldn't be contending with everybody and their mama traveling to 6, 7, 5, 8, 9 states a year. They'd just pick them a state or two and go there a year, but now everybody's having to beat their chest. I hit this many states and killed this many. Come on, give me a break. Is that your measure of manhood? I know it's a very laudable goal, but that's become the new normal in turkey hunters, is chasing 49. I was on board with it for a minute. I thought I might try it, and I knew then pretty quick that my life and lifestyle would not allow it. So I decided to go another way. I hit my 1 state a year, maybe. Sometimes I just hunt here at home. That's all I can do. I ain't got that much time off. And I save my leave for family vacation and turkey season. They just ain't got that much time off for us. Most working class people don't. But at the end of the day, the complexity in opportunity for resident versus non-resident is a thing, and it's a delicate balancing act. I don't know that I can make it all make sense, but I can at least give you the why it's such a mess. And it's a pity that our wildlife resources and our state agencies are having to accommodate parties that don't even live in that state for financial reasons. But they are. And they could get a lot more support if they just did their job, which the first order of business is relentless enforcement of the law. I hope this helps. I'm sorry for not giving a more clear-cut, ironclad answer, but it's all I got. And I think that non-resident one-bird limit is probably something that we're going to be seeing in the future, and you're going to pay more for that one bird. Turkey hunters are going to have to start being happy with one turkey and not 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 or a dozen a year. One turkey is significant, especially if you play the game. Thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. Ballard, for the question. Appreciate all of you. I've got things I got to do. I just wanted to shoot this quick one that turned into the longer one. Appreciate all of y'all. Have a good weekend.